And through all of this, we should say over and over that you are simply preserving the freedom of speech for all people of Earth, no matter what they believe, as long as they don't call for violence and as long as they're not doing some of the criminal activity that we discussed, including terrorist organizing. But other than that, it doesn't matter what they believe, left wing or right wing, you're just preserving their freedom of speech. Do you think people of Ukraine, people of Russia, and people of Iran, people of all over the world understand that, despite the propaganda against you?
I think people are smart. Every time I meet somebody from one of these countries you mentioned, in real life, people recognize me in the street, say here in Dubai. They come over, they seem incredibly grateful and understanding. The propaganda in each of these countries would tell them a number of things, but they learned to discount it. That's why they're so happy that Telegram exists, is because the way they can understand the world around them is to receive conflicting, mutually exclusive viewpoints from sources that hate each other and try to understand what really is true, because there's no such thing as an unbiased source of information. When the war in Ukraine started in 2022, I instantly realized Telegram is going to be used to spread propaganda by both sides. And I didn't want Telegram to be used as a tool for war. And I said, and I posted it publicly, I suggested maybe we should just suspend the activity of all politics-related channels in both countries for the time of the war. Maybe we shouldn't have channels in these two countries. And then interestingly, people from both countries revolted against this. They told me, both people in Ukraine and in Russia, that I don't get to babysit them and decide for them what sources of information that they have to be granted access to. They're grown-ups that can make these decisions for themselves. They understand that there is a lot of propaganda. They learn to see through this propaganda. They learn to be able to tell truth from lie. And in this time of war, it was particularly valuable for them to receive as much information as possible, because their relatives, their friends who are getting affected and are still getting affected, they want to understand what was going on. At that moment, I realized people are smart. People get it. People can see through it. If you ask most people in any of these countries, do you agree that access to Telegram should be restricted for whatever reason, they would say no.
They hunger to have a voice.
They need a voice, and they need a place to share their opinion securely.